Okay, look, just before we talk to our next guest, I want to read you the letter published yesterday. This is from Naenae Primary School in the Hutt Valley in Wellington. Naenae Primary School. And here is a letter, not signed by anyone particular, but to the school community. Now, some people call schools kura. I don't know why, but they do. So I'm going to read this letter sent out, I presume, to all parents and pupils at Naenae Primary School. Tēnā koutou ana whānau o te kura o te Naenae, which presumably says, G'day, family of Naenae School. We have decided as a kura, now I wonder how you decided. Did you have a vote or what? Or did you just get some instructions from your union bosses? We have decided as a kura that we will attend the Toi Tu Te Tiriti Hikoi in Wellington, which of course is organised by political parties, on Tuesday the 19th of November. This kaupapa will be history-making. We intend to show our collective disagreement to the proposed treaty bill by the current government and its first reading in Parliament on that day. There will be thousands attending, therefore we encourage all our whānau, that's family, to come and stand with us, tangata whenua mai, tangata treaty mai. That means Maori and non-Maori, as if there's a difference. The whole school will travel by train from the Naenae train station, why don't they say train station in Maori, to Wellington, departing at approximately 10 a.m. and returning at approximately 1:30 p.m. Permission slips will be accessible on the School Loop app. Please indicate if you can help. Due to the scale of the hikoi and the attendees, Te Rapu and Ngā Kakano requires one-on-one supervision. There will be more details sent out over the next week, so keep an eye out on Facebook and School Loop. Get your flags, voices, and walking shoes ready. Toi tu te triti, toi ti te kaute hatanga, toi tu te iwi Māori. That is a publicly funded public primary school. It is not the only one that is walking down this very weird path. And joining us to talk about this is well-known pollster and blogger David Farrar, who wrote on this yesterday. David, welcome to the program.
Good to be back, Sean.
Is this strictly legal for schools to be deciding to do this?
No, I don't think it is. Schools tend to think that they're actually above the law. They've got a terrible response rate to Official Information Act requests because at the end of the day, schools tend to think, as long as I've got my board happy, I'm not accountable to anyone. And this is where you get this culture of we can break the law. Even if you put aside the legality of schools saying we want kids to go on a protest march rather than be in school, it's also against the Teaching Council guidelines on political neutrality, which says very clearly teachers can be politically active in their own time, but they actually explicitly say do not force your political beliefs on your kids. And here you've got the school pushing 5-year-olds to go out on an anti-government protest march, saying, we'll arrange transport. Another school has said, we will mark this as a justified absence. Justified absence is meant to be things like you have to go see the doctor.
Yeah.
Not, we want you to go on a
or
protest
grandma's
march
funeral
because we agree with it. Exactly. So I think it's terrible for the kids, but I also think as taxpayers we should be outraged. These are not private entities. They are state schools. You should no more expect a state school to take an issue on a protest march than you would expect the Ministry of Health or, it's just outrageous.
Yeah, well, no more outrageous than KCs, who ultimately should be officers of the court and have their loyalty to a system of justice. 44 of them signed a letter today basically saying we know better than the elected Parliament of New Zealand.
Well, look, I understand why. I'm surprised only 44 cases signed that, Sean, because think how much money has been spent litigating the meaning of the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi. Just appearances before the Waitangi Tribunal, numerous court hearings, probably been hundreds of millions of dollars. And the worst thing possible would be Parliament passing a clear law saying these are the principles going forward. You know, the drop in income for the legal profession is catastrophic if this bill passed.
All right. Now, if people don't like Naenae School turning all its little kiddies into political cannon fodder, is there anything people can do to express their disgust at this?
There is. If you believe, and I believe it clearly is a breach of the Teaching Council standards, you can complain about the principal of the school to the Teaching Council. Now, they say you should complain to the school board first. The problem is here, of course, the board has said they're all in favour of this. So what I've suggested people do is complain simultaneously. Complain to both the school board, so the Teaching Council can't rule it out on technicality, also complain to the Teaching Council. The other thing one can do, and I don't think the government will do this, but frankly, the government should just sack the Board of Trustees. So they're breaking the law. They do not understand what their role is to run a state school and put a commissioner in, and that will stop this nonsense.
Yeah. I wonder too, wouldn't it be helpful if the Minister of Education came out and made a public statement to all schools not to do rubbish like this?
Absolutely, the government should do that.
Well, look, we tried to get some statement out of Erica Stanford on this stuff yesterday. Yeah. She's running a million miles, I think largely because the Prime Minister has basically said he's on the side of the marchers.
Yeah. And I think what's important to be clear about here is this is just about schools as an institution take a stance. If individual teachers have a view on this, they're absolutely welcome to take annual leave and go on a protest march.
Well, why doesn't the minister stand up and say this? Is she afraid of getting offside with her woke Prime Minister, who doesn't like anything about the Treaty Principles Bill?